What's up? Peter from Panda here. Hey, just ordered myself a Radical Arms Billet Skeletonized trigger for the AR-15. And why did I get this, Peter? To be honest, I'm a little bit of a vanity hog at the moment. And I had a really cool trigger, actually the Mega Arms tactical trigger, the adjustable trigger, on my AR. And I had some issues with it. Some that weren't, that might have been unique. Some that are kind of common to the idea of that there's only one springs, one side to the spring. But I just wanted to go ahead and replace it. Looks like there's a little debris here. But I also I didn't want to go with a super high-end drop-in trigger. I wanted to get something that looked cool though, but this is really not going to be any improvement particularly over any standard trigger that you get in a lower parts kit, in a standard lower parts kit, I should say. What's gonna make it unique is the way it looks. So you can see here it's skeletonized, the trigger piece, the trigger itself, with kind of this angled, industrialized truss design. It looks pretty cool, and everything that comes in this bag came with it. So there's actually quite a lot. You will need a lower parts kit or the other pieces of the lower parts kit, including your pins and stuff like that. But it comes with this trigger card. It looks like it's a billet. It's slotted here on the bottom. That's kind of cool. I don't need it, but that's cool that it's there. And then it has looks like your spring for the trigger. It has your disconnect and the spring for that. It comes with a hammer. And the spring for that hammer. So all in all, I mean, it's a pretty good deal. I think it's about $80 retail. It's about $60 street. It's all blacked out. It definitely comes a little oily from the factory, but pretty cool. I think it'll look great. It's going to behave. There's nothing adjustable about it. Just like any other standard lower parts kit AR trigger. But it's kind of a nice way to add a unique touch for $60. Now, on my other AR, I think I'm going to go with a drop-in, something with, a little bit higher end. But on this one, I actually just wanted all of the standard 5 to 6 pound pull. It's not supposed to be a super accurate gun. It will be, because I'm a genius. But it's just supposed to be a fun gun that's supposed to be safe with kind of that consistent trigger pull that you know from any AR that you will pick up. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in, and then we'll take a look at it once it's in the gun. All right, guys, installed the Radical Arms trigger. First of all, man, I can understand the attractiveness of drop-in triggers because, man, putting all these pins and stuff back in is kind of a pain. But I got it in, and actually I installed it twice, effectively. I installed everything that the Radical Arms trigger came with. And what I ended up not really liking is the disconnect and the hammer. They just really, were kind of rough, and I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I think this is Anderson Lowers parts kit. I've never had a problem with it. I've really liked that. So I went ahead and I replaced those two pieces again. So there was a little extra work in there. But anyway, and I really like these better. But as you can see here, first of all, the trigger is pretty nice. It fills the hole here nicely. It has a broad front, I don't know if that's 1/4 inch or so, maybe even a little more flat front here, slightly curved. And then the back, the reinforcement part, is actually pretty thick. It's not as thick as the trigger itself. And the bottom here is quite a bit pointier than the Mega tactical trigger, if you're familiar with that one. I don't have it here in front of me to show you. And then, like I said, that was the only thing I ended up using. The disconnect and this and the pins and everything else came from somewhere else. So actually the trigger and the trigger spring itself, everything else is going to be some thunder because I just saw some lightning. So when I got this all installed now, it works pretty nicely. Safety works, no problem. And what I'll show you is, I'm going to pitch my hand here, is it pretty much is just going to behave like any other LPK trigger. Putting some pressure on the trigger now. I wasn't doing it before. I was waiting for that thunder to hit. Put some pressure on the trigger, and it breaks there. pretty heavy, you know, I don't know, the 6 pounds-ish, 5.5, 6 pounds that the trigger normally is. And then the reset is pretty quick and easy. You know, it's not going to be, there's not going to be much to show you here. If you fired an AR with a stock lower parts kit, that's pretty much what you can expect. So, you know, everything about it is pretty nice. Like I said, other than replacing the hammer and the disconnect and using the one that I already had and just getting the trigger, just for that, it's a little pricey. Now, it's $60 for the trigger. It's probably not going to be worth it unless you're really in love with the look, which I kind of am. But for 150 to 200 bucks, you can get yourself a really entry-level drop-in trigger, and I would say that's not bad. You know, if you need the other, if you don't need the lower parts kit anyway, you know, it could be a pretty good price point for you. But this is what it looks like. I'm pretty happy with it. We'll take it out to the range now and fire. But like I said, I don't expect it to be anything other than your standard AR trigger that just looks cool. And to do, Peter from Panda, out.